What's up everybody, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at the all-new 2023 Dodge Hornet. This one is a GT Plus all-wheel drive, about $39,000, finished in hot tamale, so really cool looking bright red color. Let's go ahead and start and see what is going to be under the hood. If I can find that hood latch. There we go. So underneath the hood of the Dodge Hornet, it's actually a pretty surprisingly powerful little engine. So it's going to have a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged motor pumping out 268 horsepower with 295 pound-feet of torque, paired to the 9-speed automatic. Can even do 0 to 60 in about 6.5 seconds, and you're looking at 21 miles per gallon and 29 out on the highway. So pretty economical and sporty drivetrain for sure. If we take a look at the exterior styling, it's pretty sporty looking for sure. You can see the blacked out design for these LED headlights. I like how they're kind of sunken in and they blend nicely to that gloss grille. Get the Dodge logo, a lot of openings, kind of looks like a Hellcat right here with that kind of vent. And then you can see more gloss trim for the lower portion with the safety sensor, and then just a trim piece over here. Pretty sharp lines as well. Overall comes together, it's actually a pretty good looking car. And then we get some pretty sharp body lines, nice vent trim pieces. So yeah, it comes together nicely. Moving to the side, you're gonna get just a little bit of this black plastic coming around the front fenders, and then you get a nice design for these gloss black wheels. They're 18s, looking pretty good. And then I really like that Hornet badge as well. You do get gloss black for the mirror caps with an LED turn signal, body colored door handles, and then one sharp body line, and just a smooth design overall. You get more of that plastic black for the side skirt, and all gloss black trim surrounding the windows. Side profile is pretty neat. It's kind of short and stubby, a little bit sporty for sure, and I like how the rear end slopes downwards. Kind of looks like a Porsche Cayenne, so it kind of has a more upscale design overall. And then in back, you're going to see that integrated spoiler with black trim, and then more blacked out design for the taillights. Got your GT badge, Dodge logo in the center, and then Hornet, and just really rounded body lines overall. This does get rear parking sensors and camera, then all the plastic black trim for the lower portion of the bumper. I also like how there is a button right here. You can go ahead and press that, it'll lock the car, and the other button to the left of it is going to automatically open up that lift gate. If we take a look inside, for being on the smaller side of a crossover, you do get quite a lot of storage space in here. And you can even open this up and there's hidden space. You're gonna see the dome lights in here, a pass through, and then a removable privacy cover. If I go ahead and pop this off, pretty easy to do. Give it a little pull, and now you can see even more storage. Now if we go ahead and enter through the side, we can fold down these seats manually, and opening it up, there's just a lever right up top we pull, and you can kind of take a look at what kind of space you're gonna get in the Hornet. So pretty practical, honestly, pretty easy to operate, definitely pretty simple. Of course, this can easily be popped back into place, or we can just set it in there for right now, and then the button up there is gonna close it. Now in back, we go ahead and put the seat back up. Got a pretty cool interior with the perforated leather, the white stitching, and then in the center, if we pull this down, we have armrest cup holders that pass through right there, and a pretty nice design. Now there are air vents, you're gonna see some plugs in here, and then a little bit of storage. And then hopping inside at 5'11", this is actually pretty comfortable and roomy. Got a couple inches with the driver's seat at my height. Pretty decent amount of glass in here. You can tell this slopes upwards quite a bit, so these windows feel a little small. However, it still feels like a pretty nice and open cabin. The seats are at a decent recline, so not too bad. And if we go ahead and take a look at the driver's seat, one thing you're gonna notice, this door feels really long, especially since this whole piece comes out. So when you open it, you almost feel like you're gonna get hit by that corner. So a little interesting. And then if we grab the door handle, we do have power folding side mirrors. And then a closer look at the interior. You get this cool vinyl material for the armrest with all of your stitching, good grab handle, all of your controls, Harman Kardon, and then your release handle, memory seating and lock and unlock, a little bit of storage. Now this does get two 8-way power adjusting seats, all of your controls for driver and passenger. You're gonna see the same design we saw in back with the stitching, the perforations, and then I like how the Dodge logo is stitched up on top. You can see that sunroof up on top as well, and then a nice flat bottom steering wheel. Now if we go ahead and hop inside, keep my foot on the brake, let's fire it up. Very loud for sure for that noise right there. So definitely a noisy interior chime. And then if we go ahead and take a look at the screen, you can scroll to the right side and view just two things on that center screen. And then going into the center itself, we have the digital speed readout, you have a full navigation system, and then a few more items will pop up. Looks really nice as well. And then along the steering wheel, we have that Dodge logo, somewhat of a flat bottom design with silver trim, volume controls, and then all of your cruise control settings on the left with a sport mode icon. If we tap that, you can see it turn on. It's a little bit more aggressive looking. Turn signal stalk on the left, windshield wipers on the right, and then all of our headlight controls down below with more of this vinyl, and then kind of a cool contour to the overall dashboard. I like this design right here, especially with the stitching. And then moving to our touchscreen system, it's pretty simple to use. Overall, you have different menus you're able to adjust, all of your audio settings, different climate control, which is really easy to maneuver everything. Of course, full screen navigation over on this side. You have your phone integration as well. And then going under vehicle, here's all sorts of settings you're able to adjust. You have controls that'll pop up. You can also take a look at that backup camera, which is pretty HD. And then if I go ahead and exit out of there, you can see trip information you're able to adjust. And then my car if there's anything there. We have an apps icon and then even shortcuts to some climate. Now down below you can see that we have all of our air vents, hazards right in the center, and then pretty cool toggles for climate control. We have temperature on the left, which is a pretty nice how it pops out a little bit. Fan speed on off, AC. And then we have wireless phone charging, some plugs down below, auto start stop feature, and then a nice leather shift boot. You have controls down here for traction control and parking sensors, electronic park and brake, and then your volume. And I like the silver you're gonna get with your two cup holders, more of this vinyl material, and then just a little bit of storage space. And opening up the glove box, pretty large amount of space in there as you would expect. One last look at that roof panel. You have all of your dome lights up above, frameless mirror, and overall a pretty nice to be interior. With all that said, let's take this for a spin. All right, so we are setting off now in the Dodge Hornet. Just giving it a little bit of gas. So getting up to speed, it's a pretty peppy feeling car. Obviously it's got pretty good power with the all-wheel drive and that 9-speed as well. Some normal driving, visibility is pretty good. You can see out of the windshield really well. Mirrors all do a pretty good job, same with the rear view. And when you look over your right and left shoulder, I'd say the C-pillar area is the only part where it's a little bit, kind of blocking some visibility back there. But overall, I mean, pretty easy to see out of. You feel high up enough for a crossover, so it doesn't feel like a confined, cramped car at all. So it definitely feels pretty roomy. And then with all the different power controls and everything on the seats, honestly, it's pretty easy to get it into a comfortable spot, move that steering wheel where you'd like it as well. So overall, I don't know, it feels pretty comfortable just to kind of cruise in here, drive like normal. I like how the center screen, there's enough information on here to be pretty normal. It's not crazy with like a million different screens like normal. So you have kind of your basics, so it's easy to see everything, and all the screen in the center here works really well as well. So it's simple in here, but still nice, and actually feels like a pretty, kind of a more premium little crossover. I don't think it's just another generic crossover like so many are today, which is a pretty neat touch to see. Now if we play with some of the performance, actually let's go back to that performance screen right there. So going into sport mode just gives the car a little bit more of a performance touch. I wouldn't say it's a crazy drastic difference or anything. You got that G meter right in the center, which is kind of cool to see. But you got your boost gauge and everything. Normal driving, it does seem to rev the engine pretty high. Just, quarter throttling it, it'll hit pretty much redline, but it doesn't feel like it's stressing at all. So it seems like kind of a fun little darty car. Kind of reminds you of the Dodge Dart, how you can just like dart around in it. Of course, they're using the Hornet name from years back. But let's do another acceleration real quick in the POV. Brakes seem to do a pretty good job bringing us down to a slow speed. And if I put us into manual, honestly nice and peppy, really gets up to speed quickly. So not a bad little car, honestly. It kind of just drives pretty normal. It's roomy and comfortable. The seats are nice and padded, and the materials you touch, I mean, it feels like actually a nice car. So seems like a pretty good average price crossover with, I'd say, pretty nice, slightly above average crossover aspects. It feels sporty, feels fun, great tech. It's simple and easy, and you got pretty good storage and just usability to use this as your daily. Obviously, anyone buying this is going to be their daily, rack up some miles on. You know, you're going to get good gas mileage. It's easy to drive. You got enough power to get onto the highway, merge, and not have to worry about it. And it seems like kind of a fun take on kind of a more sporty design for a cool crossover.